let's eliminate everybody who's caused him his death, okay, if that's the case.
Cavazos also runs an intelligence unit that gathers information about rival gangs.
I'll dress differently, and when the Mongols are headed to a bike function, I would enter it ahead of time, and I will mingle. And I will mingle and find out who's there, what clubs, what people. And I will not let on that I'm a Mongol. It's part of our intelligence. So it's very much like the military.
The gang also uses a coded language. After one murder, the Mongols issued an internal alert to evade the police.
They put out what's called a Code 55. They told all their members in the area not to wear their colors, their vests that show the name of their gang, not to go out openly, not to carry weapons when normally they do carry weapons, and to avoid contact with law enforcement. That's the kind of organized criminal enterprise that allows them to function in the way they do.
At the core of the Mongols organization is the credo that every member must live by.
It doesn't matter who you are, we don't fear you, okay? And basically, the idea of training these Mongols, recruiting them and what have you, is for them to live by that. They should fear no one, not even death.
From 2002 to 2004, Doc Cavazos' recruitment strategy dramatically increased the gang's membership.
Gotta love them.
There were now several hundred Mongols operating on the streets of California. But these new members would put the gang's future in jeopardy and pit the Mongols in a life and death struggle with the mighty Mexican Mafia. January 2004. In order to fight its war in California against the Hells Angels, the Mongols Motorcycle Club was building up its membership. The gang was expanding in size and reach, but its new method of recruitment was backfiring. The Mongols' leader, Ruben Doc Cavazos, had welcomed members of LA's street gangs to join them as part-timers. But many of these recruits had ties to La M, or the Mexican Mafia, Southern California's most powerful gang.
So you have a dichotomy. You can't serve two masters. Either you're a servant of the Mexican Mafia or you're a servant of the Mongols. And you can't be both, and that presented the problem.
The Mafia was now demanding that the Mongols pay them a percentage of their drug profits as a form of tribute, and repay the $10,000 they lost when some Mongols caused the bust of a Mafia meth lab.
It's just never going to happen. The Mongols will never pay anybody. The Mongols will never give anything up to anyone.
Yet the Mongols didn't seem to stand a chance against the Mexican Mafia's vast army of 50,000 soldiers, who police consider the most lethal gang network in the world.
They're probably the most active gang and most prolific at killing. They control the streets.
Authorities learned about the imminent war and, hoping to settle tensions without a body count, tried to warn Doc Cavazos to back down.
Sheriffs used to pull up in front of my house and they used to say, "What are you going to do now, Doc?" Meaning, man, you guys, this is going to get ugly, this is going to get serious. And I used to almost be disgusted in that question. What do you think I'm going to do? We're going to stand our ground. We're going to tell them, "I'll screw you."
After a series of meetings between the Mongols and the Mexican Mafia fell apart, both sides prepared for war. La Mirada, California, March 2004. Shortly after nightfall, a gunman pulled up to this tattoo parlor, frequented by the Mongols. He withdrew a machine gun from his jacket and opened fire before speeding away. The shop owner was killed and a Mongol was wounded. The Mexican Mafia had drawn first blood and things quickly heated up.
If you shoot one of our guys off his bike, we're going to come at you with everything we have.
Whatever it takes. wherever your imagination can go. I would be a soldier for this club no matter what.
The Mongols became targets everywhere they went, and gun battles erupted all over East LA.
We would be on the freeway, and a black SUV would get on up ahead of us, and when they pull up next to us, it would open fire on the motorcycle.
There's people shooting at you. There's people trying to, throw you off the road, throw you off your bike.
And we gave it back to them. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm not acting like we're just the victims. We're not. When the time came, we gave it back to them.
The attacks hit closer and closer to home until the Mongols' own headquarters turned into a battle zone.
Our clubhouse would be constant shootouts. It was like the Wild West. Somebody would drive in there. We had one guy drove right in there on a bicycle, on a mountain bike, and opened up on the clubhouse with a fully automatic.
Meanwhile, the Mongols were still embroiled in another war with their arch rivals, the Hells Angels, or HAs. The Angels ramped up their own attacks, and Doc Cavazos dodged assassination attempts by both groups.
We had members of the club who would come to my house and start my car up for me because they were afraid I was going to be blown up. And they would check underneath it with mirrors. And about that time, they found several sticks of dynamite underneath one of my cars in my driveway.
As the pressure mounted, some of the Mongols betrayed the gang credo, respect few, fear none, to save their own skins.
It got so bad that I'm told that a lot of Mongols were not wearing their colors around town because they were afraid that the Mexican mafia would see those colors and they would send somebody to kill them.
When the war broke out with the HA, we lost maybe 2 or 3 members. When the war broke out with the M, we lost about 20 members.
Many of the Mongols' old guard openly blamed Doc Cavazos for the bloody siege. They said that if Doc hadn't recruited part-timers from Sureños gangs, they never would have been at war with the Mexican mafia. Cavazos responded by forcing dissenters like veteran Roger Penny out of the gang.
It's just when he realized people weren't happy with what he was all about, he kicks them out, which he has kicked out more people in his time of reign than the whole club has been together since the beginning of time. And this is a prime example of what's going on right to this day.
The war was tearing the Mongols apart, but Cavazos refused to cave.
Well, if a shootout is what somebody wants, a shootout is what we'll give you. It got to a point where the characters who were originally involved, moved out of their homes, okay, because, I guess they feared that Mongols were coming by their house all the time.
The Mongols were managing to stand their ground. But with 2 ongoing wars and growing dissension within his own ranks, Cavazos faced an uncertain future.
I don't even want to say what might happen to this man. If he ever gets locked up, he's gone. The man is gone.
The Mongols were holding their own in a 2-fronted war with the Hells Angels and the Mexican Mafia. By December 2004, the Mafia was looking for an end to their conflict with the Mongols.
I don't think anybody really wanted a war. The mafia just wanted their piece of the drug action. But people were getting killed.
A representative from the Mafia approached reporter Chris Blatchford, hoping to send a message to Doc Cavazos.
He told me basically that Doc was going to be a dead man if he didn't start playing ball with them.
Through his reporting, Blatchford served as a go-between, and the 2 sides sat down together. In a closed-door meeting, representatives of the Mexican Mafia and the Mongols struck a deal to end the war. No one outside of that meeting knows what was agreed, but members of law enforcement believe a payment was made to end the bloodshed.
I think everyone involved kind of realized, this is not going to go anywhere nice.
Yet growing conflicts within the gang itself still challenged leader Ruben Doc Cavazos.
There's a faction in the Mongols that don't think that Doc Cavazo is a real hardcore biker. They see him more of a politician and a manipulator who surrounded himself with some thugs that take care of him and sort of watch his back.
Many of the old guard Mongols were thrown out of the group for questioning Cavazos. They accused him of weakening their organization by filling it with part-time gang recruits of dubious loyalty.
So what's going on here with Doc? Part-time Mongol. If you have a bike, you earn that patch, you ride, and you act like you're a biker. You act like you conduct yourself as a biker.
There's, I'd say, hundreds of brothers who would like to come back, but they're never going to do it as long as Doc is in control, because they're not going to put up with it. We just have this, as far as I'm concerned, disease right in the middle of their still.
But Doc's recruitment strategy appeared to have paid off. The Mongols had built up their ranks and endured a war with the powerful Mexican mafia. The long-standing feud with rival biker gang, the Hells Angels, also seemed to be cooling off, with charges pending against both sides from the violence at Laughlin. The gangs fell into an uneasy peace.
These guys are all tough guys, but, they also want to live a life. I mean, I think that, bad choice of words maybe, but I think there was a feeling there, to bury the hatchet.
The leaders, they don't want war. Nobody does. It's stupid. Our passion is riding motorcycles. It becomes difficult to ride your motorcycle when someone's trying to shoot you off of it.
The battle may have died down for now, but animosity between the Mongols and Hells Angels runs deep.
Here's the deal. You put a Hells Angel in front of me and he's got a ball-peen hammer in his hand, I'll shoot him. Straight up. I will have no problems with it.
Keeping the club ready for any battle, Cavazos continues to build his membership.
What the Mongols will instill in you, what they'll start teaching you from day one, is that you are some type of super being, okay? It doesn't mean you won't die. It just means that somehow or other your person, your being will live forever, okay? And they teach you that you don't back down, okay? And you don't disgrace the club.
Cavazos is confident that the new generation of Mongols has what it takes to live up to the gang's core beliefs of demanding respect and fearing nothing.
To be honest with you, you want to be known as a rough, tough, always willing to defend yourself club.
For Mongol members, a willingness to fight to the death is what being a Mongol is all about.
I'll live for my brother, I'll die for my brother, I'll take a bullet for my brother. That's just the way I live.
I've been shot for this club, I've been stabbed while I've been in this club, I've been to prison for this club. And, a lot of people, they don't understand. But you know what, I have people that love me and care about me that aren't going anywhere. The club is always there for me. And on a personal level, that's what this club means for me, and that's why I'm willing to sacrifice for this club.
I know there's something wrong with me to actually want to do this, But I think that's what makes it. I think that's what makes it special, though. No one wants to be harassed by the cops. No one wants to be shot at. No one wants to be assassinated. No one wants all that. So there has to be something inside you to be here.
Even with the danger involved, the appeal of the gang shows no signs of letting up.
I think the public is readily available to accept the myth about outlaw biker gangs, that they're pretty neat guys on the open road on bikes, boom, 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 boom. But if you ask what crimes they've committed, I think everything, murder, extortion, drug dealing, rape, the list goes on.
The Mongols